Have with us tonight National Maritime Council spokesperson, retired Vice Admiral Alexander Lopez. Welcome back to the big story.
Good evening, ladies, and also good evening to our televiewers.
Vice Admiral, we do know that two crucial bills were passed today, the Philippine Maritime Zones Act and the Philippine Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act. I know this clears out things and puts a certain officiality to what we call is our territory and within the EEZ of the Philippines and also the other zones, the maritime zones. But how will these two laws change things on the ground?
Well, actually, for one, we had this laws passed, and it will strengthen actually our national security and also contribute to the overall welfare of the Filipinos. How? Um, we have defined the maritime zones and the archipelagic sea lanes. And with this, we can effectively enforce relevant laws as well as related international laws. And thereby, we are protecting on a much better plane our marine and fish resources, um, preserve and conserve our marine environment, as well as enhance maritime safety and security. So basically, it's for us, not for anybody else, and not for any other country. It's for our purposes, for our national interest.
Very curious about the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act. We do know that you define here passage within um, the archipelago, but is this focused on the territorial sea and also as well as the airspace above that territorial sea? Ano po yung sakop nung Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act?
Yeah, basically the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, it will allow us to identify particular sea lanes within our archipelagic waters where foreign vessels can still pass, but we will be able to monitor them. We will be able to detect them. And of course, with that, we can really ensure our national security. Unlike before, that they can pass anywhere, they can go anywhere, and it is our security is vulnerable. For example, no, if they will be doing anything illegal, they can do it anywhere. And with the passage of the act, we can identify where they can only pass. And mas madali yung ating pagmamonitor and pagdidetect sa
Ano
kanila.
po yung archipelagic sea lanes? Kasi po, sa loob po ba yun, territorial sea, internal waters, or kasama po doon yung EEZ?
No. Uh, the maritime zones, actually, we have determined those that are going beyond yung palabas, no? We have determined or defined our territorial seas, meaning the 12 nautical miles outward, no, basing from our baseline. And then the contiguous zone from the baseline, this is actually 24 nautical miles, and up to the 200 nautical miles of our EEZ.
Okay.
The archipelagic waters are basically all the waters inside naman, no? Inside naman. So, for example, the east of Palawan, that's the Celebes Sea, and going down. So basically, these are the archipelagic waters. Going up to the Balintang Channel, these are all archipelagic waters.
Okay,
Meaning nasa loob sila ng
territorial sea.
ating territory. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And paano naman natin i-disseminate na may ganito na, as we understand, Vice Admiral, ito po ay domestic law. Ma-apply ba to agad sa lahat ng mga radar, may mga parang ways ng mga barko, or will you disseminate it to your counterparts in other countries? And how soon will this be binding?
Well, basically it's too technical, no? So we'll try to make it on layman's term,
Yeah.
so that more can understand it easily. Just like any law, it has to pass, about 15 days before its full enactment. And pagdating dun sa archipelagic sea lanes, we are actually passing it or having the the International Maritime Organization recognize it. Kumbaga, idudulong natin sa kanila for its approval because there are several um, states that use our seas, and then kumbaga idadali natin sila doon for the IMO to approve or not. So this is actually a tedious process being observed at the International Maritime Organization. Hindi actually kaagad pwedeng implement unless they have this authority for us to implement the law.
But in the waters, especially in the contentious areas, Vice Admiral, are we expecting some backlash? I was going to say on the ground, but on the water, because China has already reacted and has summoned our ambassador to China already, to the foreign ministry. Do we expect any heightened tensions?
Well, the concern actually of the Chinese in particular are actually on the maritime zones. Kasi pagdating doon sa archipelagic waters, atin yun it's really inside. So wala silang pakialam doon. No? Pwede lang makialam yung international community is pag na-determine na natin ang ating archipelagic sea lanes. So basically, ang consider noon ay to make it layman, doon lang sila pwedeng dumaan, and they can go through there in the normal mode of transport in above the water and in the air. So yung ang worry ng China, nagre-react sila doon sa ating maritime zones like beyond our territorial seas, no, so contiguous zone and up to the EEZ. Actually, even without the two laws passed, nagre-react naman sila. So kasi they think, no, they believe that the area is theirs, no. Pero again, we are anchoring our sovereign rights and jurisdiction on UNCLOS and the 2016 arbitral ruling. So we have just enacted this law para talang ma-define talaga ang ating where our territory, contiguous zone and EEZ for purposes of, again, for the international community, para maging basis na rin kung ano pa pag nag-draw tayo ng the most updated maps of the Philippines.
You talked about monitoring the sea lanes better. There's also concerns over that it may impinge on freedom of navigation. Also, the law provides for penalties for those who infringe on our domain, given these new laws. So what sort of penalties are these, and how do you expect to monitor the sea lanes better?
Yeah, as I was saying a while ago, if the International Maritime Organization finally approves or considers our ASL, and then that's the only time that we really can implement it, enforce it. And with the violations, for example, we can file them in the proper courts. Insofar as monitoring or implementing the act, presently we have the capability. Actually, we have the capability to monitor them. We have the capability to detect them. Ang maganda dito sa pinasang law is we have identified 3 points, choke points, so to speak. So the capability of our forces, the capability of our Coast Guard and other law enforcement agencies, we can enforce the law. The law actually also provides these agencies for more capability development.
Yeah. Vice Admiral, what were the 3 choke points that you mentioned?
I'll just get my that's one in the north and in the south. So hold on.
Actually, tama
Just
po
to be
kayo
sure, no?
nakakwento sa atin yan na namomonitor naman yung pumapasok sa sea lanes natin, pati sa airspace natin. The problem lies in what to do when they actually get into our
Correct.
airspace and our sea
Yeah.
lanes. Paano natin hahabulin ba natin? Mabigyan ba natin ng penalty?
Do we board their boats?
Ayun ang question, ano?
Or we
Anong
just get
yeah,
anong
okay.
mangyayari
So,
sa kanila?
Or nare-record lang yung parang license nung vehicle.
Yeah. Anyway, just to answer the 3 points up to the 3 sea lanes, the one passing from the east now, the Philippine Sea, it goes to the Balindang Channel in the north and goes to the West Philippine Sea going to the west. The other sea lane is from Celebes, the east of Palawan Island. It will go down to the Cebu Passage sa south, and it will go down to the Sulu and Cuyo, and going to the east past Mindoro Strait and West Philippine Sea. And the Sea Lane 3, again, Celebes, Basilan Strait, Sulu Sea, and Balabac Strait to West Philippine Sea. So basically, tatlo yon. So we'll be able, mas maganda yung tatlo, with our current capabilities, we'll be able to detect them. We will be able to monitor them, identify them. And if there are violations, we have enough assets for now to interdict them. No? Sabi nga, if they violated, we can board them because we are already enforcing domestic laws.
When you say choke points, Vice Admiral, do you mean ito yung part na parang start ng toll gate pero dagat version? What exactly do you mean by a choke point?
Yes, basically, yung choke point parang sa isang part doon, mayroong part doon na there can only be a small area, of course, big enough for big ships to pass, no? So, doon lang silang pwedeng dumaan, parang imbudo, no? Parang gano'n. So, doon lang sila pwedeng dumaan. So, with that, we can simply detect them para pang checkpoint, no? Pag sinabing choke point, parang checkpoint din sa pagdating sa lupa sa ginagawa ng police. So basically, those choke points are literally similar to the checkpoints being done by our police, by our military dito sa lupa.
Vice Admiral, tama po ba that according to the law of the sea, that warships are allowed innocent passage in our territorial seas? Is that correct? And what would constitute innocent passage? Kapag nagtagal po sila, pag nagre-research sila, let's say sabihin na natin malapit sa Benham Rice, nagtagal sila doon, hindi na yun innocent passage, nabibilangan po ba natin ang tagal nila sa isang area?
Yeah. The scenario, no, Gretchen, no, kung wala pa itong ating Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, they can actually enter our inland waters, so to speak, no. Pero before that, normally they have to inform our country or any other country that they would be entering into that they will pass, no. And then when it is granted, they can invoke the innocent passage principle, meaning continuous, expeditious, at hindi paliko-liko, no? And hindi unobstructed. Once they slow down or drop anchor or fly their airplanes that on board, yun, violation yun. In like manner, pag civilian vessel naman, they can also invoke the right of innocent passage, provided the three conditions, no? Expeditious, unobstructed, and continuous. So basically, those are the three conditions. Pag wala yung, kunyari, naglagay sila ng fishing net while crossing or passing through our inland waters, archipelagic waters, violation yun. Pwede natin silang kasuhan o pwede silang hulihin or reward. So basically, yun. Kaya nga, the importance or significance of coming up with archipelagic sea lanes, ma-identify natin, dito ka lang pwedeng dumaan, no? So beyond that, that's already a violation. Kasi pag wala nun, you can just imagine the vast expanse of our waters, mas mahihirapan tayo to detect them and interdict them when the case arises, when the need arises.
I'm curious, so related to that, what are we doing now? Right now, is it just a ship can go through and just pass wherever? Is that what they're doing currently?
Yeah, basically, meron tayong yun nga yung dilemma kasi natin. They can always invoke the right of innocent passage, basically anywhere. Meron tayong established, no? Pero again, for our purposes, to ensure our national security, pag ganun kasi, ang sabi ko kanina, our waters are too wide. And our assets are too little to cover such a vast expanse of maritime space. That's why when we defined this archipelagic sea lanes, actually this is 50 nautical mile wide, no? So kung sa gitna 25 miles to the left and 25 miles to the right. So the breadth of it is basically 50 nautical miles. Mas madali natin mamamonitor. And we can detect them the moment they enter our archipelagic waters, then they will pass through our designated archipelagic sea lanes. Doon mas maganda yung ating detection capability, our monitoring ability, and interdiction capability.
With the right to innocent passage, I was wondering how evenly we're going to be applying the law once it comes to pass. To put it crudely, are we going to be harder on China than we are on the United States, for instance? I mean, the United States also sometimes cites right to innocent passage in some of these expeditions.
Well, again, for one, before especially if they are warships, they're warships,
Kahit
they
na
have
allies.
to seek permission or inform our government through our defense department, if they are our military vessels, that they will be passing through our waters. And if they do not do that, then once we detect them while they are inside our waters, our maritime law enforcement units, our Navy, our Coast Guard, will challenge them, and we will be able to, monitor them, yung sasabayan natin sila hanggang makalabas sila sa ating territorial waters. So ganun ka-tedious. That's why hindi naman ganun karaming ating assets. Nagiging thinly spread ang ating assets pag ganun ang sitwasyon. That's why we really need to have these archipelagic lanes enacted into law.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time. Once we have brought this to the IMO for the necessary processing, and then once it's been approved, then that's the time we can really implement it and enforce it.
But again, it will apply to all countries evenly, not just
And
China.
dark ships also, I'm curious,
Yeah.
pati dark ships ba mamamonitor natin? Because that's one of the problems. In-off daw yung AIS, Vice Admiral. With this new law, can we monitor even those na naka-off yung AIS?
Yeah. With our current capabilities, especially if they're inside our territorial waters, we have so many radars or equipment that we can detect them. Definitely, that's one thing for sure. Ang mahirap lang kasi pag nasa labas, like yung sa outside nga, medyo may. Pero actually, we have scattered radars detecting equipment, sensors within our territorial or archipelagic waters.
Yeah, but again, Vice Admiral, yes or no, it will apply evenly to all countries?
I'm sorry?
It will apply evenly to all countries? The law will be applied evenly to all countries, not just China?
Yes, not only China.
Okay.
All foreign vessels, all foreign vessels. That's why the law is actually directed to foreign vessels passing
Thank you.
through our archipelagic waters.
Thank
That's
you.
why we need to put them in the designated archipelagic sea lanes para hindi sila pakalat-kalat, so to speak, dapat nandito lang kayo.
Thank you, Vice Admiral. We just needed that confirmation.
Vice Admiral, actually marami pa kami tatanungin sa inyo, pero antayin na lang namin din yung IRR at yung mga detalye ng bagong mapa na yan. But for now, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We have retired Vice Admiral Alexander Lopez, spokesperson of the National Maritime Council.